Welcome to your 2023 Pilates program. My name is Melanie, your mildly goth Pilates instructor. Today we're going to do a reformer workout for legs, including glutes and outer thighs. We're going to start on one blue spring or one light spring. Headrest will be down. If you need a pillow for your head, we're going to be lying down on your side. A yoga block would do too. Lie down on your right side. Meet me on the reformer. I'll see you in a sec. So we're going to begin placing that left strap onto the left foot, and the legs will come into a tabletop position. Find a resting spot for your head, either on the pillow or on your arm or hand that feels good. We're going to begin lifting that left leg up to hip height. Rock your left hip away so your hips are stacked on top of each other. We're going to begin just pressing to the side. If you feel at any point like this resistance is not enough, you're welcome to kick it to a red spring. That's totally fine. So each time I press out, leg is starting in parallel. We're going to move into some internal and external rotation in a few minutes, but you want to think about that knee staying at hip height or just a little bit higher. And I'm pushing that leg so that each time my heel is getting right in line with my hip. So it might feel like it's going almost behind you, but it's not behind you. If you need to reset, take care of yourself, do what you got to do. I'm going to begin pressing to the side, and last one. I'm going to pause here, keeping the leg in parallel, so knee facing forward. I'm going to lift and lower that leg. We're going for 10, 9, 8, 7, keeping the torso stable, even though this leg is moving, not fast, but not slowly. This is 8, can't count club right here. Last 2. And 1. Good. Pause it at hip height. I'm going to rotate outward, lift up, rotate inward, lift down. So toes up, toes down. This rotation is happening through the hip though. I'm using the toes to cue, but really I'm rotating through the hip socket. And as the leg goes up, knee and toes go up, knee and toes go down. The internal rotation for a lot of you might be a lot harder than the external rotation, particularly if you're someone who has danced before. But do what you can. Just turning inward a little bit is what we want to do. Last one. Now we're going to reverse. Toe and knee face down as you go up. Toe and knee face up as you go down. It's a little bit of a brain teaser, but you can do it. Good. Torso staying as still as you can get it. Take care of yourself, of course. We've got another 4. This one really burns in a good way, I think. And take care to make sure your leg isn't drifting too far forward. If you can't get it right in line with your hip for this one, it's okay, do your best. But your goal is to try to keep the heel right to the side if you can. Good, bend the knee in, take a quick breather. And next we're gonna move into some glute burners. So you're gonna lift both heels. Knees are gonna start together. That bottom heel is gonna stay up. And just bear with me on this one, I promise it's gonna be fun. Or fun of sorts. You're probably gonna rotate that rope to go above the leg. We're gonna extend that left leg. Heel lifts up, toe lifts down. Leg comes down to meet the bottom one. So that right leg on the bottom is staying lifted this whole time, and I'm pressing out on an upward diagonal. Yeah, it's for real, right? So lots of glutes here, lots of outer thighs. Good, we're gonna go for 3 more. Make sure those heels aren't drifting down. You can have that either at hip height or even explore a little bit higher. I just want to make sure that the knee is pointing down or downward and you're lifting the heel up. Good. Pause there. We're going to go for tiny pulses up and down. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Still in that internal rotation. 3, 2, oh boy, and 1. Lower it down. Stack the legs on top of each other. Pound it out if you need to. And let's move on. We've been doing a lot of internal rotation. Let's do external rotation. So now I'm going to rotate the knee and hip outward. I'm going to flex the foot. I'm going to extend the leg out to the side. As I bend the knee, bring it in. The knee is going to point upward toward the ceiling. So I'm not rotating my torso. I've still got the shoulders stacked and the hips stacked, but every time the leg comes in, that knee is going to point toward the ceiling or toward the front wall, at least, depending on your range of motion. Using abs here too. This is definitely going to hit the inner thighs, but you want to control with the core and definitely take care not to ride the spring on the way back in. You're not letting the spring just take you in. That's going to be potentially harmful for you. That actually just hurt my hip joint a little when I was demoing that. So don't do that, please. Take care not to do that. Good. One more time. Good. Now I'm going to bend the knee in, extend it up toward the ceiling or as close to up to the ceiling as you can get. Extend it down and bring it back in. Use control this whole time. Good. Oh boy, that burns. You can also point the foot if that feels better. Kind of like the flex. It gives me a little something to resist, which I enjoy. I'm going to go for 6, so we should have 2 more. And 1. Good. Now we're going to lift up to the ceiling, bend the knee in, push it away. So once again, taking care not to rotate through the torso. Check in with yourself. We all rotate sometimes. That's fine. And if this range of motion is too crazy or too much, keep it lower. That's fine too. Meet yourself wherever you are today. As long as you're getting that work in and you work on your range, that's what matters. Good. Once you get to 6, you can rest the leg down, pound it out. We're going to go for the opposite side. So taking that strap off of the foot, we're going to rotate onto the right side of your left side of your torso. There you go. Already turning to the other side. Now you're going to be resting on the left side of your torso. Strap will come onto the right foot. Right hand down into the mat. Press your top hip away for a nice stacked pelvis. Lift that top leg to hip height or slightly above, flexing through the foot. You're going to press out to the side, bring it back in with control. So once again, not letting yourself ride the spring. You're going to control out and in, press out to the side. And once again, you want to drive that heel so it's right in line with your hip. It's not necessarily behind or in front on a diagonal. You want to try to get it aligned directly with your hip if you can get it. If you need to take a moment just to spot check, look to the side. You can usually eyeball it. If you can't quite see the crease of your ankle when you extend to the side, you're probably at least far back enough, if a little too far back. Last couple. Good. Pause here. We're going to stay in parallel, knee facing forward. We're going to take those tiny pulses up and down. Good. So we're not rotating yet. Also not letting your torso collapse. You still want that top hip pressed away. Good. And rest. Now we're going to begin rotating up, rotating down. So knee and toe face up, knee and toe face down. So when the foot goes slightly up, knee and toe face up. When the foot goes slightly down, knee and toe face down. Trying to keep your torso as stable as possible, keeping your shoulder rolled back. Can actually be the hardest maybe to stabilize here through the torso, but that's part of the fun. 2 more. Definitely feeling work through the hip, work through the glute. Now we reverse. Toe and knee face down as you go up, knee and toe face up as you go down. This is the brain teaser part. So lead with your heel as you go up, lead with your heel as you go down. Good. We're going to go for 5 more. This is 4. These really burn. Internal rotation is really hard for me. After a lot of dancing in my youth, that's definitely my weaker spot. Good. Make sure your head isn't drifting forward. Make sure you're not rotating through the torso as you do this one. Last one. Good. Rest it down for a sec. We're going to move on in just a moment. Now, more glute burners. So here's where we're going to rotate the rope on top of the knee. You're going to lift both heels, zipping your thighs together to start. You're going to begin pressing on an upward diagonal out to the side. Your foot can be flexed here, bringing that leg right back to starting, keeping both heels lifted. That lift is happening on an upward diagonal. Make sure your head isn't drifting forward. The rope might start to brush your nose if you do. Keeping pressure in that top palm if you like, or you can even explore lifting both hands, lifting that right hand above your head. Taking care to keep that bottom heel lifted. That's going to be your guide for how high you can lift your foot here. And you also want to make sure that leg is going right to the side, not on a forward diagonal. That's not going to get you quite the glute work you want here. Good. Last one. And extend to the side, keeping that internal rotation, tiny pulses up and down. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, oh boy, 6, 5, nice stable torso, 3, 2, 1, rest it down, take a beat, pound out the glute if you need to. And now we're going to move on to some external rotation. So restacking yourself, Press the top hip away. Rope comes down to the inside. We're gonna lift the heel, press out to the side. Good. Let's go for 8. So once again, rotating externally through the hip socket here. Knee faces up. Find a flex foot. That's gonna be easiest for you here to keep control of that strap. Good. Lots of glutes, some outer thighs here, some inner thighs too. We're gonna go for 3 more. Last 2, squeeze your abs too. This is definitely an abdominal workout. And 1, good. Now you're gonna bend the knee, extend it up, straight down and bend. Taking care not to collapse your torso here. You don't wanna relax the rib cage down and use that for support. You wanna press that top hip away so you're forced to use your core to stabilize here. Of course, your body may still make contact, that's fine, particularly if you carry, some weight around your torso. It's no problem, but you want to just make sure that you're pressing that top hip away so that you're forcing your body to stabilize with your core. Good, now we're going to lift the leg up, bend the knee, press it down, and try to fight momentum here. Use force through the foot, squeeze the glutes as you press out to the side. And again, if that range is just not happening for you, take it where you can. Again, glute engagement, you want to be feeling it right in this zone. Also taking care to try to keep this leg as close to the side as you can. If it needs to be a little bit in front, that's fine. Once you are wrapped up, rest that foot down, count it out, and we're gonna move on to our stretch. So close the carriage, release the strap wherever you can. You're gonna press up to sitting. Let's place 1 red spring on. We're gonna go for our assisted figure 4 stretch. Coming down to lie on the machine. Headrest will go up. Reach back, find your strap. We're gonna extend the right leg up to the ceiling. Strap goes on that right foot. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. You can begin just flexing the foot here, get a nice hamstring stretch. You can give a little pressure, pulling on that rope, flexing through the ankle on that right side. You should feel stretch along your hamstring here most likely. Doesn't have to be so high. Wherever you can feel your hamstring stretch, find that spot. There's no one formula. Once you've had enough of that, bend the knee, let the spring give a little bit of pressure here to release through the glutes and outer thighs on your left side. If you want to give a little bit of pressure with your hand on your thigh, definitely not directly on the knee, but on the calf and the inner thigh on the left side, that can feel really nice. Sometimes I like to just put my arm there, hold onto the rope with my right hand. Good, and let's release. Place your left foot down on the foot bar. Take the strap off of the left side. Let's switch to the opposite side. So, left leg goes up to the ceiling. I'm gonna begin crossing my right ankle, forgetting my directions today. Pausing with that heel right above the hip. I'm gonna flex the foot, giving a little bit of an added stretch here, pulling down on that rope, if that feels nice to you. Once that feels comfortable, like you've had enough, bend that left knee. I'm gonna begin letting that spring really add more intensity on the stretch on the right side. So I'm gonna just place my hands onto my right thigh. Maybe I'll grab the left rope with that left hand to give myself a little bit more stability. I'm gonna push with my right hand into my thigh or my calf even. Thigh feels more stable to me, again, not on the right knee joint. That can be not fun. Just enjoy that stretch through the right glutes and right outer thighs. Good. Extend that left leg up. Anchor yourself on the foot bar with your right foot. Release the strap from your feet and carefully and slowly roll up to sitting. You, my friend, you did it. You did an awesome job. If you want to keep going with something else to add more to this workout, I'm going to link another video right here. And please subscribe. I'm posting workouts regularly for your 2023 Pilates program to support you in your fitness journey, particularly those who are kicking off a 2023 effort to improve your Pilates practice. I'm here for you, and I can't wait to see you next time.